there were drones hovering over fucking New Jersey in mass, and the expectation of us having an answer the next day, like even that is unrealistic.
Yeah, but it's been...
Like, there's never been a time in the world where fucking information
But it's like weeks.
moves like that.
And videos and people seeing it.
Yeah, but
and
if it happened like 30 years ago, it might have taken years.
Yes.
To fucking to come out.
Agreed.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, in fairness to the government, right? In fairness to the government, devil's advocate.
But they got to wake up to that game.
Yeah, but
it's that
in
quick.
fairness to them and devil's advocate, let's say it is some sort of a threat and it is something serious, right? And they're responsible for delivering the information to the populace. And if they did it in TikTok fashion, it could start a fucking mass fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like...
Right, but just say,
but like, what are you going to do if they say, yeah, China's fucking here with an army of fucking drones? You're going to freak out and go dig a fucking tunnel and fucking...
I mean,
they
did.
How many people are going to make bomb bunkers?
They were blaming it on Israel or in Indonesia or something like that. They were like, it's a mothership off the Atlantic Ocean. People
a mothership?
Yeah.
It's literally the words that they used.
That's way... So, you know, like when the Roswell shit happened with the weather balloon stuff, and they're all like, all right, we got to create this whole thing with this alien and the spaceship and shit. Let's go back to that. All right.
The question is...
Because I think it'd be way better instead of the government being like, yeah, we don't know, it'd be like, yeah, dude, it's some alien crazy shit.
I do think the aliens
like that'd be way more fun.
Aliens are in the ocean. I'm telling you, that's where they live. What do you think? What do you think? Those fucking cheese packages and those meat packages. Then we'll go from business to business, and then it started going from family member to family member. You ever get those for Christmas? Somebody sends you a meat package.
Oh,
fucking salami.
Yeah.
Little cheese, little crackers, little bottle of wine.
Charcuterie boards?
Oh, yeah, charcuterie.
Before they were charcuterie boards?
Yeah, they never were fucking...
There was a time before the charcuterie?
Yeah, they used to just send it to you in a fucking
I mean, that's
box.
like I think like the French name for like what it is, but there was definitely a time before people were like thinking about foodieism in the internet when those things were in play and nobody called them charcuterie boards.
But I think it was just a business to business thing. I don't think it was like, now you get a Harry and David sent to your house.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, the baskets, the holiday baskets have been a business to business thing for a long time.
Right.
And I think people are just lazy and like convenience. And so, like, the concept of click the fucking thing, have the fucking thing sent to somebody's house,
package.
That's a good gift.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Omaha steaks? Like, you like if somebody sends you an Omaha steak package?
I wouldn't be a great Omaha steak candidate, but, like, I know my brother loves it, you know.
Okay. I've never got one sent to me, so.
Yeah.
I mean I don't think anyone.
What's like, what for either both of you, like, what's like your ideal holiday gift basket? Like, what do you, like, if you open something up and be like, oh shit, this is like exactly what I need. Like, what is that?
Like present-wise, or you mean like food-wise?
Well, you're just saying you're not an Omaha steak guy. So, like, if you're not an Omaha steak guy, then, like, what?
To be honest with you, like that, you know, and maybe I'm just a fucking asshole, can't enjoy anything.
Oh, he's gonna be so positive this episode. This is gonna be a positive episode.
I don't know.
What about like what? Like, would you like a wine basket?
Yeah, like, all right, like what would be cool is like a bourbon basket.
Ah,
You know what
see,
I mean?
now we're getting somewhere.
Like, all right, you know, it took me a second to try it. You know. Or like a cigar basket, like you know,
Yeah, that would have been my guess for you.
Those are little things that like I appreciate and enjoy.
Right,
you know?
you'd be surprised by it.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? If somebody got me like a cool like sampler pack of cigars, you know, from, you know, some good brands and shit, like that would be like, all right, this is sick.
Now, if you got a bourbon basket, say like 4 bourbons, right? Mm-hmm. Would you try them?
Yeah, of course.
You would eventually try them, right? You wouldn't like look at it and be like, I don't really want to try. I got my own bourbon that I like.
No. I mean, if it was the opportunity, I mean, that's a cool thing. Like try them and say, okay, this is a difference. I love to discover new shit.
Yes.
Like I love, especially like I mean, the one thing that I've been eternally in pursuit of is like discovering new music. And I know a lot of people don't do that. Like they get to a certain age and like they just listen to what they listen to.
Yeah.
I love nothing more than being turned on to like, oh wow, this is some new shit. Like I never heard this before. Oh wow, this is fucking great.
Yeah, I get
like that. My love language is show me new music.
I get excited when I send you stuff.
Yeah.
Like I always want to see if like you like sometimes you're like, yeah, I've seen this one, but sometimes it's like, holy shit, what is this? Like the people in the room who are doing the choir shit, which Remember I sent you that? With
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
dude?
was amazing.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you know that. There's this
what's
choir.
that?
I think it started in New York. I think it's a room in New York. I forget what they
Is it like that subway choir?
No, it's like they're calling it Gale something, and this one guy is in charge of it. I think he's a play guy. I think he's in a lot of musicals and plays. Could be giving total wrong information. But they get together with 600 random people, and they cover a song. They all have their papers of what they're singing, and they do a choir on either a popular song or just a song that's in there. And I think that stuff's really cool. But now that I've scrolled a little bit into that zone, kind of almost culty. It's very culty.
Choirs are one of the first cults to ever exist. I mean,
just
at least in
making
the
stuff
church.
up?
Well, I mean, in the church, you know, like church is like probably one of like the most popular cults
Yes.
to ever really exist. And like for most people's musical experience, like I don't know, maybe talking like 800 years ago, 600 years ago, 500 years ago, most of the time, like your only musical experience was going to church and singing in church.
And
That
singing
was
in
it,
church.
you know.
But I think cults are a big part of human history and like our like social makeup. And I also think like today, like we're in the era of like modern day cults.
Yeah.
Like just like the algorithm. What do you think the algorithm is?
It's
The algorithm is
cultism.
just like fucking, you know, like
Whatever you like.
parting out all of the different cults. The algorithm is just like, all right, you're this cult, you're that cult. It's
creepy.
Like
I'm
that's
sure like
what the
Pope-
algorithm is.
Like if the Pope from like 500 years ago could like come today and like see what's going on, he'd just be like, "Yo, you guys figured it out. Like you guys are doing it better than we did."
That's
you
a
know?
little creepy.
Yeah.
That's a little creepy. Because it looked like something I was like, you know, I'm like, this would be a cool thing to do on a fucking Saturday. Like go down there, sing with like 350 people, make something.
Yeah.
And then I just keep on seeing more and more videos, and everybody just becomes more and more culty to me. Like I see the same guy in like 9 songs with the same tie-dye shirt. Like that's all he's doing, you know what I mean? Like he's just going down there to like meet people. I don't even think he cares about singing.
Well, but I mean, what's the difference between that and like somebody who goes to like the football game every Sunday or goes to like something else? Or like, you know, it's like whether or not it's
One
people
thing I'll
singing
say
and
about
shit.
sports is that it ends. Okay? So there's a season and it ends. Things like going to the Brooklyn in apartment AC every Saturday to sing, it just becomes more and more creepy, I think.
I don't know, man. I go to jams. Like every week. Like there's a Sunday jam I go to every week. There's a Thursday jam I go to every week. And I mean,
Yeah, but
like,
you're kind of culty.
yeah. But I mean, is that such a bad thing?
I don't know.
But I mean, what do you think this place
I don't-
is? It's a fucking cult.
Yeah. What do we do here?
No.
We're
do you think I am?
professional
No.
cultists.
It's a fucking cult leader.
You're a cult leader?
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
But not like not. I think like.
You certainly wouldn't pay if you were a cult leader.
What do you mean?
You wouldn't pay. They don't pay people.
Cult leaders?
Cults don't pay people.
No, but like
You get
I-
like 25 cents on the
but, like,
dime, and then you got to cook
everything.
dinner and shit.
Everything is about like. Everything's about like a definite. I wish I could get
Like
that
I'd
deal.
be cooking you
Yeah.
dinner inside, and I'd be
would-
like a part of that cult.
I wish I could get that deal. Eventually, I'm gonna
I mean,
figure that out.
people like I don't know. Start Church of Scientology. I guess people pay the Church of Scientology.
No, but like I don't think like I don't know, like you'd have to look this up, like the definition of a cult. Like I don't know if like the definition of a cult automatically implies that it's dangerous and bad for people.
No, and we've talked about that.
And I
before.
think
We've
that
talked about
like
it
I
before.
think that there might possibly be cults or something that you would refer to as a cult that's just like a community of people united under a specific set of, you know, themes
Cause or
and-
agenda
Yeah,
or whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
he gets it. That's a close relationship with somebody who goes to a football game every Sunday. I agree with that.
Well, it's a very similar process, and people engage with it in a very similar way. Like, I feel that a lot of the negative stigmatization about cults, or at least the term, I don't know, because like there's things that you could call a cult, or that's culty, but it's like you wouldn't necessarily refer to as a cult. But anyway,
So what's the word? Group?
I don't know. I mean, like community, group, organization, nonprofit. You know, there's a couple different ways to put
I
it.
think it's even larger in scope than that. It's like people want to belong. People want to feel like they're understood. People want to
Yeah.
feel appreciated, and People are looking for answers. People are looking for direction.
See, but then that's when I feel like that becomes more culty because it's not something.
Yeah, but what do you think the church is? It's exactly that.
Yes, and
It's the original one that's the best financed, most financially successful.
I agree with that. But when you go to root for a team, I just think that's more or less a community of just having the same hobby.
No way. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced this yourself. Like, you know, and you probably are guilty of it. But like, I've met people that like show up to work on fucking Tuesday morning and aren't in a good mood until 2 o'clock the next day because their fucking team lost in Monday Night Football.
That's crazy.
That is fucking cult 101 fucking behavior.
That's I'm not like that anymore. That's crazy.
But there you go. I'm not like that anymore.
But I was like that when I was a kid.
But who do you think, like, the people that join cults and like fucking, you know, suck fucking dick while the guy's making fucking eggs, like, you know what I mean? Like, that sounds like those are the, you know what I mean? Like, these are kids,
sounds dangerous,
or people with, you know, in trouble and you know, and have issues, and you know, I don't think like your average Joe gets who emotionally healthy human being, or even somewhat, you know, joins a fucking cult, moves into the woods, and you know, fucking fathers fucking 37,000 children. I don't think there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's another thing about today's world.
I'm saying there's
a
lot of people that only the selective few go and have to do.
Yeah,
that.
but and we talk about this all the time in one way, shape, or form. It's like the internet makes you think that there's a lot of things like this that are happening. Yeah. Because like we have Netflix, and there's, who knows, maybe there's 937 documentaries on
the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. You know,
and those 937 documentaries represent like a fraction of 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 a percent of fucking humanity. Like, there's not that many people in cults. There's not that many people who are moving to the woods to live barefoot and fucking, you know. It's not. It's, I mean, is it a part of, like, what humans do? Humans do all kinds of crazy shit. We're fucking an insane species.
Really are.
Yeah. And most of it's more of just speaking to people's needs of, like, you know, tribalism and, like, wanting to feel like they're part of something bigger, or want to feel like they're part of a team. That's kind of the thing.
Everybody wants to be accepted.
Yeah. But, you know, let me ask you both a question. Like, so, like, clowns. What do you both think about
fucking
clowns?
hate clowns.
You fucking hate clowns.
Super hate clowns.
Yeah, I mean, like, I haven't had a lot of, like, clown contact in my life. You know what I mean? I haven't, like, paid a lot of clowns. I haven't fucking, like, had clowns at birthday parties. Right. Like, so I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other about clowns. I would say that my opinion on clowns is that it's a form of entertainment that existed in a previous world.
Right.
Where, like, you know, you needed to entertain kids, and like some guy would paint his face and, like, you know, do some weird shit.
And that would be the thing.
And then, like, you know, Hollywood made movies about weird clowns who fucking kill people and rape people, and then now we have the internet, and like there's a whole subset of the internet that's dedicated to fucking creepy clowns.
Broke down the history of clowns. You know, there's clown college.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, like, I don't really think clowns are a relevant topic of discussion.
Well,
unless it's something that you're into, and sure, go ahead.
Where it relates, though, is that, like, you know, people used to have this perception of, like, what clowns were. Clowns were, like, funny and energetic, and they're about having fun. And then the perspective about it changed when Hollywood took over, and then the movies came out, and then now all of a sudden people have this totally different perspective about it. Like, I actually know some professional clowns that literally went to
not surprised.
I say that. That literally went to clown school. I'm not kidding.
I know a girl who did that.
Yeah. So, like, that whole thing is, like, you know, whether or not clowns, whatever the fuck, but the whole thing with it is that, like, you know, the association that we have with something like that, you know, people's associations with something change over time.
Definitely.
But the current association can sometimes just really has to do with about the culture at large. And when it comes to, like, people thinking about, you know, community-based things or cult-based things, it's like some of that is deserved, but some of that is also like, oh, well, there's all these, you know, documentaries on Netflix about all these crazy cults that have existed and all this cultish behavior and stuff, or all the crazy things that the church has done, or, you know, whatever, you know. And some of those things are totally true because they happened and they're a part of our reality, but some of it's also just like people's perception of it. You know, most people wouldn't say that the people that go to the office and get very upset about their sports team losing and it fucks up their whole day or it fucks up their whole week, you wouldn't look at that person and be like, oh yeah, like they're a cult.
He's in
like
that giant cult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think
No,
that.
I get that.
But it's
and the word
sort of
cult
similar.
is associated with something bad,
Yeah.
pretty much.
For that role, yeah, it's really Jim Jones and and all that kind of shit that went on in the 70s that like really kind of messed it all up. Because before that, it was all like communes and hippies and peace and love. Like that was the word for it. And then all the crazy stuff started happening
were
around
a cult too.
Yeah, but people didn't call that stuff
Right.
like cults.
No, they just called them dirty bastards.
Yeah. Pagan. They called them heathens or whatever.
Well, I think clowns come from court jesters.
I was going to say jesters, the next step down from a jester.
I think that's the foundation of where a clown.
Because I don't think jesters wore makeup.
But once again, it's like a whole. It's like it's some of the original forms of entertainment. Whereas like now, like entertainment is so different than what it's ever been.
Well, I mean, how dark was it back in the day? I think when you were a court jester, like if you didn't make the king laugh, I think you were put to death, weren't you?
I think some, yeah. I don't think every king killed a court jester.
Yeah, let me just kill my work.
Yeah, I'm sure there was kings that didn't kill jesters, but there definitely were that did.
Yeah.
Off with his head.
So
With his head.
So should we kill clowns?
Imagine that, like back in the day, just being like, off with his head. It's over
You just
for that
have that
guy.
power.
It's over for that guy. Can't imagine having that power.
Man, it's like you sit down for an interview, like, what are your qualifications? You'd be like, well, I can literally just snap my fingers and somebody will die.
Yeah, I can knock him out. Somebody will
my
do the
power.
dirty work for me.
Yeah.
Have you been? I mean, this might be over before we get some answers. What's up with the drones, bro?
I don't know anything about it.
You know nothing about the drones?
Anything about the
They're
drones?
they're just drones.
Explain.
Explain
to him.
I'm the explainer.
Yeah, you have
I'm
good
the explainer of
vocabulary.
the show.
Explain to him.
All right. Well,
You know nothing about the drones.
Zero.
In New Jersey.
in New Jersey, in Long Island, and like around the tri-state area, people have been citing all these like swarms of these like automated drones that have just been like in the sky at night and stuff.
Big drones.
And it's like, and it's not just like some regular UFO shit. Like it's everywhere. It's all over the news. People have been recording it all over the place. Like it's well established that this is going on. And when asked about it, the local governments are just like, yeah, we know what's happening. And yeah. And that's it.
So
Like, they're
since
not giving
right
answers.
after Thanksgiving, from about dusk, drones have been appearing, and they hover around neighborhoods.
Maybe it's the end, man.
Listen to me. What do you mean maybe?
That's it. Here
They
we are.
hover until about 11 o'clock at night. And people have been saying it and citing it, and they've been just getting thrown away. And now finally New Jersey, I think it was the New Jersey governor.
Yeah.
He finally made a stink about it. Went and started questioning the FBI and the government and everybody, and they're like, we don't have an answer for you.
Yeah. They're just not telling people what's going on.
I mean, dude, maybe it's it. You know, I mean, what are we gonna do? First of all, if they're mobilizing battle drones and they're there, like there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, but the real question is, and this is what
What do you do? Go fucking write your congressman.
well, this is what I stated. So they came out saying we don't think there's anything harmful about them, but we don't really know where they're coming from, or we don't really have an answer. So my thing was, after this started rolling,
when did this happen? Over the weekend?
I mean, it really started hitting this weekend.
Yeah.
Where news people finally started saying something on
I
it.
was out of town.
But my thing was, if there's a car crash, if there's a fire, if there's a guy who got shot, there's a fucking news reporter out on the street.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what's going on, nothing for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the
nobody's
IRS
going
knows if you
after it.
Venmo'd your buddy $600.
Right.
Yeah, but for some reason, the government officials don't know about what's
Yeah.
going on in their airspace, and the military isn't mobilized. I think they know what's
And
going
that's
on.
the second thing,
They know.
is we're not letting things just fly.
I mean, probably what's happening is that they're testing
some shit.
fucking, battle drones.
The only other thing that they're saying that, well, a lot of people are saying on the internet, you don't know who to believe, is that they're looking for something. So they've been surveying the
I
area.
mean, bro,
Looking
that
for
AI
something.
technology is out and about. You know that drones. I mean, we have drones with cameras on them, like fucking that operate, at a decently high level. For $1,000, you can get a high level operating fucking
Right, but you
drone.
can't send your drone up to those drones, or else the fucking power dies and it just drops.
Yeah, but
to the
what
floor.
exactly? So
this is like, we're not talking about like 1 or 2
Said
drones.
small
or, like,
cars.
this is like, we're talking about like 80 drones
we know,
in the sky,
we know,
just doing whatever, and there's no answer.
But we know this is coming.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? No, we know.
This hasn't happened before. Like, we don't know.
You're telling me that you're surprised?
I'm not necessarily surprised,
No,
but I'm
you're
more
afraid,
surprised
which is
that,
natural.
No, I'm not afraid.
Not afraid.
It's more so that it's like the government's like, yeah, we don't know, but it's like, but come on. Like,
But you
Of course they know.
You know.
What I'm saying.
But it doesn't mean I'm afraid of it. It's just like
you get red light
it's a what the
tickets
fuck.
at the intersection.
Right.
They
But you
don't
don't see
know
a
about
pro-
an army of drones appearing in multiple cities.
You don't see
of course
a
they
problem
do.
with that? That's a problem.
No, it's because I, on some sort of instinctual level, even as a younger kid, have always known that the fucking story and the powers that be, it's all bullshit. The same thing as the Mets and the Yankees and all these other fucking things. And I'm not saying baseball is bad.
I know
Shots
what you're saying.
fired, man.
I'm not saying baseball or
Get him fired up.
I'm not saying that any of these things are inherently good or bad. What I am trying to say is that it is a fallacy to think that the folks who are in charge of a country of 350 million people with the largest economy that's ever existed in the history of humankind are ever going to be on the same playing field as you and I. It's never a fair fight. It's never been a fair fight. But I'm also not an anti-American. Like, I do think that this is relatively the fairest fight
Right, than most countries.
that exists,
Right,
that has
right.
ever existed.
Right.
In the history of fucking the world, I think this is the best example so far. Not meaning that it can't be better, because obviously everything can be made better. But this is the best version of what people have been able to do up till now. But if you don't think that, like, they're not going to tell you that they're fucking testing their battle drones, no fucking way. What's going to happen one day is that, like, I mean, I hope it's not like the apocalyptic versions of fucking like you see in the movies. Like,
Right.
I hope it's like, all right,
all hell
we're
breaks
mobilizing our battle drones and we're taking out fucking the terrorist cells in fucking Afghanistan.
Jersey.
Right, in New Jersey.
Well, no, I mean, they're obviously, they're probably being made in New Jersey and coming from New Jersey because that's the company who's got the contract or something like that. Like, I hope that, like, we don't combust on ourselves and whatever. But we're going into Star Wars, dude. It's what's going to fucking happen.
First of all, I hate Star Wars.
No, but we're going into it.
I don't want to go into Star Wars.
It doesn't matter.
But that's not what I want.
But it's what's going to happen. But I also believe
this guy doesn't want this. Someone put him in charge.
I just feel
Put him
like
in charge.
it's weird that you're kind of okay with
I'm not okay.
50 drones being in the air,
I'm-
and then for 3 weeks people are like, we don't know what it is. Don't shoot at it, though. If it falls out of the sky, don't touch it. Like,
I'm not okay.
why not just say what you're doing?
I'm not, like, okay with it. I'm just accepting of the reality to where, like, we have no say or control over these things. Unless, like,
But we have the, as a citizen, like, you have the right to say, like, yo, person whose salary I pay with my taxes, what's going on?
But that's the naive dream that we're all under. It's not really real. I mean, there's certain things that we have access of information to, and I think in our country you have a little bit more access than other countries. But you're never going to get that.
Right, but if you're not honest about what you're doing,
Eventually, they're going to have to be, or like, here's what could potentially play out. Right, if it really is something sinister. Then,
which I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
If it really is something sinister, what you might see is a breakup of the states.
Right.
You might see, like, certain states and state governments saying, like,
having to deal with the problem differently.
I don't want no fucking drones in New Jersey. So fuck you, federal government. We're gonna secede.
Right.
Or Texas saying fucking we're pulling out.
Which
Like,
might be one thing that I think they're going for.
If it was something like super sinister to where, like, there's this deep faction of the government that believes that, you know, we should Star Wars the fucking rest of the planet and fucking, you know, start
going back to
start droning people and like, but that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what's going
on. There's not gonna be any more fucking warfare of like troops getting fucking sent on fucking aircraft carriers.
It'll all be like droned and
it's gonna be
100%.
drones
It's
and
gonna be drones
automated
and
and-
robots. It's gonna be fucking video games.
Right.
Yeah, people with an Xbox controller.
That's what it's gonna be.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you're not going to be honest about it, then what you could be possibly doing is striking fear for no reason.
Well, or they're preparing their statement. You know what I mean? Like somebody made a mistake.
This isn't a mistake.
No, I'm saying somebody made a mistake. Something went wrong, and nobody was supposed to find out about this. Somebody fucked up, and now a week from now, they're gonna prepare a statement like the way they did with that like balloon that was floating over from China.
Yeah.
or
It is.
whatever. You know
It's
what I
very
mean?
related to that balloon.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be, you know, something like that, or they already know what it is now. You know what I mean? Like,
They definitely
yeah.
know
you
what
know,
it is.
whether or
Definitely
not
know.
whether or not like they are doing it, or it is like, you know, it did come from China.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna fucking sound, because that's like how we are with the internet. Like everything's like 5-star alarm, and then it turns into memes.
Yeah.
And then it fucking
Well,
and then
it's
just
like maybe it's also like the part of the fact that we're not hearing anything about it. It's like, you know, maybe it's the kind of thing where like, you know, they don't want to speak about it or speak on it because all of a sudden, you know, the amygdala fear engine is going to go wild and people are going to go nuts about it and crazy about it. I mean, the government's been worried about that and fearful of like the amygdala fear engine for you know, I mean, I don't know, ever since the Cold War, you know, they've been like, oh, we have to keep this secret and under wraps because of the amygdala fear engine that exists in the world because of the news cycle and shit. Like, I don't, nobody quote me on this. I don't know if this is like confirmed. Are you resetting the camera?
No, go.
All right, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Don't do that ever again.
Whatever. All right.
Don't do that ever again.
We'll cut this. We'll cut this part out. What was I saying? Yeah. So
Megdala
this is-
Flill and act.
Megdala
Schmegdala act.
yeah. So this is nobody quote me on this because I literally don't know. I saw this as a headline, and a lot of times I don't like just regurgitating headlines that are being fed to me because it's just being fed to me, and for me to just say it's a fact is like, you know, it's bullshit. But for me to spread some bullshit for just a second, one of the things I did hear was that potentially it was that like there was some radioactive material that got like lost.
Yeah,
And
plasma?
no, not the plasma shit. Not the plasma shit. Plasma shit's totally different. But like there was like radioactive material that ended up getting like lost, and those drones are like specifically designed to like comb for radioactive material and like that because they're trying to find whoever like who scoped it.
How do we
off or
lose
stole it.
radioactive material?
Rob people who rob trains and
special radioactive trains.
Talk about science. Talk about
you know,
The reality is
Walter
that-
White did it in fucking Breaking Bad.
The reality is
you
there's a
know?
lot that we don't know.
Yeah.
Still, and there's always gonna be because like
right, but when it's
like the
blunted in our
government-
face like this, that's when it gets
Well, because we know more.
Crazy.
We know more now than we ever did know.
right.
Like, you know, like even like just the expectation of there were drones hovering over fucking New Jersey in mass, and the expectation of us having an answer the next day, like even that is unrealistic.
yeah, but it's been.
There's never been a time in the world where fucking information
but it's like weeks
moves like that.
and videos and people seeing it.
Yeah, but
and
if it
it's
happened
not like
30
it's hidden.
years ago, it might have taken years
Yes,
to fucking
Agreed.
to come out.
agreed.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, in fairness to the government, right? In fairness to the government, devil's advocate.
But they got to wake up to that game.
Yeah, but
that it's that
in
quick.
fairness to them and devil's advocate, let's say it is some sort of a threat and it is something serious, right? And they're responsible for delivering the information to the populace. And if they did it in TikTok fashion, it could start a fucking mass fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like,
Right, but just say.
but
we're
like,
working
what are
on it.
you gonna do if they say, "Yeah, China's fucking here with an army of fucking drones"? You're
I'm not-
gonna freak out and go dig a fucking
But I'm not
tunnel
even-
and fucking.
I mean,
you
they
know,
did.
how
They
many people are gonna make bomb bunkers?
They were blaming it on Israel or in Indonesia or something like that. They were like, it's a mothership off the Atlantic Ocean. People believe it.
mothership.
Yeah,
It's literally the words that
way
they
better.
used.
That's way. So you know, like when the Roswell shit happened with the weather balloon stuff,
Yeah.
and they're all like, "All right, we got to create this whole thing with this alien and a
Yeah.
spaceship and shit. Let's go back to that. All right.
The question is,
because I think it'd be way better instead of the government being like, yeah, we don't know. It'd be like, yeah, dude, it's some alien crazy shit.
I do think the aliens
like that'd be
are in the
way
ocean.
more fun.
Aliens are in the ocean. I'm telling you, that's where they live.
Well, listen, if they're the drones, I'm ready to go now.
What are you gonna do?
I'm ready to go to the next place, the next thing.
Yeah.
Just perish and go to the next place?
Yeah.
Maybe there is
He's
no
gonna
next
be.
place.
He's already started the bunker.
Man, there's no bunker. If there was a bunker, I'd know about it.
No, there's no bunker.
Oh,
No, I'm talking about like if the drones fucking shoot us down and it's over, I'm ready. But what are you gonna do?
Mainly all I'm saying-
I got way too much on my plate to add that to the list of things to worry about.
I understand that. Mainly what I'm just trying to say is just say you're working on it. Instead of don't say
they probably will.
but that's not what they're saying. They're saying the first initial words out of the government's mouth was, we don't know what it is. We can't detect them well enough to understand them yet. We don't think it poses a threat.
I gotta look into this.
And in
You know
my
what I'm saying?
opinion, that's poor craftsmanship. Give
And
me
I think
some
that's
fun ass alien,
Right.
whatever from outer space shit. Like that's the fun
Give
stuff.
us some weird answers.
Yeah, weird answers would be better than no answers.
Yes.
Well,
That's
no,
what
I
I'm
mean we don't know what it is yet, and we're working on it. That's an answer.
Yeah, but come on, like be a better craftsman. Tell me a good story.
I
Tell
actually
a funny joke.
See, I disagree. I like the answer.
I don't like the
Like
answer.
we don't know. We're working on it.
But it's
but
bullshit that you don't know. You know.
Yeah, but you were just
know.
saying like, oh, I don't care what the answer.
It's been happening for 3 weeks. Nobody said a peep for 3 weeks. So if it's been happening for 3 weeks and you don't let a drone go to fucking Millionaire Airport over there without notifying the guy who's flying the drone that you're in the
All right,
wrong area.
I'll give you an example. Like, you know how many times...
Is it still called Millionaire Airport?
I think so. You know how many times a day or a week or whatever, like, you know, they find like some fucking like uranium or something like in Penn Station?
No.
Or like...
I don't.
So I have an uncle that was a super high level guy in the fucking military, super high level. I mean, he's long retired, but in the early 2000s.
I think we talked about him once.
And he had said to me like the amount of things that go on if the fucking general public knew about,
Well, you'd be even more
you'd never
petrified.
sleep at night. You would never sleep at night. And I think that there is a level of like where I think that's good. I don't think
I agree with that.
I don't think
But that's not it. That's not. We're not seeing it with our eyes. The drones.
no. But
everybody's seeing
what's
it.
happening is you're seeing everything through fucking social media. That's the fucking problem.
I don't know. I understand
Like, you know
what
how many?
you're trying to
There's
say.
probably millions and millions of videos, and this is inside of 3 weeks. And there's probably millions of videos of those drones that have been contextualized and edited and
Yes.
played with.
100%.
Millions.
100%.
Maybe even tens of millions.
They have them shooting stuff
and
sometimes.
so that's what I'm saying. so that's what I'm saying. So
And they have a dude who's filming it,
okay,
shooting his gun at it.
so the millions of people that have seen those videos,
Yes.
and are not emotionally
into it,
stable enough to fucking, do some due diligence or think through it or whatever.
Right.
The amount of people that are walking around right now that think that Star Wars has begun.
Yes.
So that's
It's crazy.
that's why I don't even want to, like, I
think you gotta look at it.
I'm gonna look at it. I mean, I might not. I might not.
I think you should.
I'd like to.
It's cool that it's actually like on the regular news now.
Yeah.
Mysterious drones across the East Coast. Coming out of the Atlantic Ocean. We don't know where it's coming, but the mothership is close.
This just in. Drone strike. From the mothership.
The drones in the air are stealing all of your drones.
Government, if you're listening, this is how you should do it.
Just send a donation of $5.99 to Kamala Harris.
Donate
pitiparty.com.
to the Elon Doge Fund, where you can elevate your stock portfolio.
Elon, I believe that Elon, if those drones are bad, he'll have an
He's gonna
answer.
take 'em out.
He'll have an answer to battle them back.
He might. I don't think he's said anything yet. The funnest thing, and again, this is probably going to not age well because we don't get this out fast enough, but Trump actually said today, he's like, the government needs to answer what's going on. And then they go, well, Mr. Trump, were you briefed yet? Did you have a security brief? He's like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like you're the government.
Here's another thing too, is I believe that like the opposition, the Dems, right? they are going to try to fucking
Do shit.
put out as many possible
Yes.
fucking quagmires, as many landmines
Right before they
as
leave?
is
Yes.
humanly possible.
100%.
Between the moment that guy gets in,
To make
they're
you-
like they ordered like 8 trillion banana peels.
Drones.
And they're like, let's we're gonna litter the entire fucking walkway with banana peels.
Yeah.
So that this guy
They've been
just
throwing
fucking,
banana peels for fucking 30
it's
years.
so he has to
dude.
waste
Banana
the
peels.
first 2 years cleaning up those banana peels. Yes.
That's what they're gonna try to do.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And I think if I was him, I would also answer that question that way and say, not talking about it. Because right now, like, he's got to get in.
Yeah.
Once he's in, then he could say, okay, if he is who he says he is.
Yes.
Which nobody knows, and we'll find out. But if he is who he says he is, he gets in there, strikes the fucking bell. I'm the boss now. All right. Here's the deal with the fucking drones.
Right.
Aliens.
Yeah.
We're going to make it fun.
Straight up aliens, and this guy's name is Bill.
But who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, but governments have been fucking making
maybe
up.
it's a cover up for Luigi.
That's a whole other thing.
You think
That's
it's a
a whole-
cover up
Yeah.
for Luigi?
That
memes,
Luigi
the-
shit is crazy.
The
yeah.
meme
See all
wars.
those memes of people being like, "Oh man, I'm so grateful for Luigi helping me out at my job from the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m."
yeah, that's so
I see
nuts.
them everywhere. It's so amazing.
So,
bad.
nuts.
So bad.
Nuts.
That's not. He didn't have a unibrow.
you know
That's
what-
a different guy. That's a different.
What I think is fucked up, what I think is really fucked up, and I think that, like, this is just another thing that's like indicative of like how we have gotten into these class wars and social wars, and about how like there's this sentiment of like this guy fucking, you know what I mean, like Luigi fucking what's his name is a fucking hero. He should have killed this fucking guy from United Healthcare.
Right.
Like
I can't stand that
listen.
shit either.
I believe that the healthcare companies are as fucking corrupt as you can possibly get. I believe that that the health insurance industry is fucking despicable.
Yes.
But like to glorify a fucking assassination,
Sniper shooting.
to glorify an assassination, it's rough. I mean,
People are always
there's
gonna be behind it, too.
There's a piece of me that sees the heroism kind of a little bit, but it's like we can't let ourselves go down that path as fucking
Right,
No,
right, yeah. Like nobody
absolutely
wants to
not.
glorify violence, but
they are
it's-
right now.
Well, but it's also like I don't think
Only the people
like,
out on
like
disability
Ice-T once said, talk shit, get shot. So the thing is like I don't think that there would be any amount of this kind of sentiment for I mean he's innocent until proven guilty, but like I don't think there'd be any level of this kind of sentiment and this kind of like populist support for like what happened with the CEO and for Luigi had these companies not been doing all the crazy shit that they've been doing. Had United Healthcare not been like, oh yeah, 90% of people, fuck you, like then none of the sentiment would be around.
But I mean, you could shoot any CEO in the head, and somebody will have a story on how it's heroic that he did.
Yeah,
that.
but I feel like you could take
you a CEO?
100 CEOs and
Shit.
not saying do this, but
I don't make
feel
enough money for anybody to wanna kill me.
the reason that the story is what it is has a lot to do with what
'Cause his
United
name's
Healthcare is doing.
Luigi.
and he's he's a guy. He's a little fucking guy.
No, you're right.
He's also like there's also a part of it that like he's an attractive guy.
Right.
And it's gonna be a little gay. I'm sorry, a little gay. But he's like,
I love how he
think
keeps looking at that camera, which is hilarious. Those are definitely going to be
it's for the
clips.
show. But like because of the fact that he's like an attractive guy, like I feel like people are like drawn to that and are like, oh yeah, we like this guy.
100%.
Do you guys agree? Like, do you think that's a thing or?
I think that's always
definitely
a thing.
think
I think that's
it's a
how
thing.
John F. Kennedy won the presidency.
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, that's
1960
true.
something or other.
And people fall in love with murderers all the time.
Yeah,
They-
they're attractive fucking people.
People like attractive people. I mean, that's not news.
Attractive people like killing people.
See, that is a distortion of information.
Of reality?
yeah.
All attractive people.
Attractive
love
people have
murderers.
always been popular. Attractive people being more prone to fucking mass murder, not true.
Need a study on that.
Usually they're really weird looking. Usually. We need some sexy Rexy news now with all this political stuff going on.
Yeah.
Oh, you hear about you hear about Google with the new quantum chip that they just released? Willow, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
No, does
Yeah.
it go into a person?
What?
What's a quantum chip? What do you mean?
So normal chips are run off of bits, and all right, start over. Quantum chips, they use quantum shit to basically exponentially increased computing capacity. So like this chip was able to perform a calculation in 15 minutes that would have taken a top supercomputer in the world right now about like a couple septillion years to
What's
complete.
a septillion year?
It's 2 followed by
I wanna
256
know exactly
zeros.
what it is.
No, it's
pi?
It's an advancement in computing that like just jumped. You know?
Yeah, like we can't even compute and process how crazy that level of computing
we're all gonna
is.
die.
I saw a thing. I mean, you know, or we're all gonna fucking
this is
become cybernetic. And
this is
live
where we
forever.
become type 1 and let's go. Let's become a type 1
We
civilization.
ain't gonna be able to live with it.
I don't think that like we've in history we've always adapted. We've always had, and you know, people fell off. People that couldn't adapt. I mean, that's like the history of.
What if we become slaves of robots?
We're already slaves
We're already
to
slaves
fucking
of robots.
materialism and consumerism and fucking tribalism and fucking all sorts of fucking isms. We're already fucking slaves.
I hate this show.
Slaves that think that we're free. Well, you guys brought the drones.
Bought
hate
the
this
drone.
show.
This is more of a Vitruvian 5000
I understand what
episode.
John's talking about. I understand.
What?
Yeah, this is more of a V5000. You're right. God, we just set up your topics for the week.
You're responsible for this show. You brought it up.
You're right. We are.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Entomans?
No, I don't have any Entomans. What do you want to
We're
talk
out
about?
of it. We're out of Entomans. They ate the cake. Where
don't
did
wanna
that
be-
cake come from?
I
It
don't
was
want to
just
be
like
depressed anymore.
I also don't want to be like locked into the algorithm of what we're allowed to talk about. It's like that's not what real.
No, I know you
conversation
don't.
is.
I know you got some kickback on that. I understand. What do you want to talk about?
I don't fucking know.
What do you mean? What went on this weekend? What did you do this weekend?
I can't talk about it.
Fucking living the CEO
Listen,
life.
we know what happened this weekend, but we cannot say
Cannot confirm or deny.
cannot confirm or deny.
I went to go see Army Navy, 125th. It was the first time I was ever in the same building as a future president and a past president, so that was kind of cool. Trump was there. Trump was there.
Oh, you saw Trump?
I mean, through a video, just like on TV.
Hey,
It was
Trump!
He didn't go on the field.
Donald!
I think my dad was a little disappointed that he didn't go on the field. I think he wanted to see
You
him.
think your dad was like hoping that he would come and shake his hand?
I think he wanted to see him.
All right.
No, not that. I mean, we're in the stands. Oh, I will say something. So I go over to my parents' house the night before. It's my brother. Supposed to be my two brothers and my dad going on this trip to the Army Navy game, but my one brother backed out. But I go over the night before to go over the plans, what time we leave, and stuff like that. My daughter's at dance, so I'm just taking some time. And my mom's trying to get like a basketball for my son, but it's not an NBA basketball, it's a size smaller. That's what I told him. I said he's using a size smaller. So for about 20 minutes, my mom kept on saying, we were at Costco and I had the basketball in my hand and it seemed smaller. It seemed like a smaller basketball. It seemed, and my dad was like, it wasn't smaller. It was 7.5. I know what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 6.5, whatever. They were going back and forth the whole time. 20 minutes. My mom was like, I held it. It seemed smaller. So I told my mom, I go, when was the last time you ever held a basketball? And she had the nerve to tell me, I shoot baskets with my grandkids all the time. And if you know my mom, I haven't seen her do any activity in at least 15, 20
She's been
years.
shooting baskets in secret?
In a head. I don't know what she's doing.
In the head movies.
So I was like, there's not a chance you shot baskets with Jake ever. Like, you have never shot, he's 10. You have never shot a basket. I have shot basketballs. Who do you think was out with you when you were shooting basketballs? And I go, you were never out with me shooting basketballs ever in my entire life. I don't know where you're going with this. I don't let her go with things, right? I kind of got to hit her back. So I said some old joke. I don't know what I said, but I said a joke that like, you've never shot basketballs. You're never going to be able to shoot a basketball because you can barely walk into the kitchen. Whatever I said. And my dad's just sitting there with his head like shaking like this. He's like, and she goes, see, this is the problem. You make me feel like I'm an invalid, right? This is what's going on. My dad wakes up. That's right. Look at, you're always telling us, watch that curb, hold my arm, hold on to the railing. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I feel like my job is. I'm like, you guys have fallen in the past. I'm trying to help you not fall and get hurt, right? Your bones are brittle.
Yeah.
I go home. My dad picks me up the next day at 5:15 a.m., turns to me in the car and goes, fell down the stairs this morning. Bruised his back, and this is after back surgery. Bruised his back. Mom wanted me to tell you that I fell down the stairs so you could help me out on this little trip that we're doing. But I'm like, this is the problem. Like, I'm trying to be a nice guy, point things out, help them out, make sure they don't trip over my kids, whatever it is. But I'm the one that's making them feel invalid.
Yeah, but what if, like, in secret, like, you drop your kids off there, right? Your dad's, like, in the other room watching TV.
Right.
And your mom all of a sudden, like, opens up, like, the closet and, like, this, like, slide out, like, shooting hoop, like, the shoes. Like, it's like a secret. Like, no, this is a secret between us and Grandma.
Yeah.
Only this is grandmahoops.com. Like, fucking, like, and all of a sudden your mom is just like blasting, fucking just nothing but net.
There's
like,
no
fucking,
secret drawer would be, get your coat on, let's go outside and shoot some hoops. We're shooting some hoops outside.
It's like Frozone. He hits the button and the closet flips around and it's just a whole basketball
theory
game.
is that your mother has a secret little basketball set up in the house, made for the kids.
Honey!
And she's just, I'm not talking about like outside, not like bouncy basketball, like fucking one of those like door mounted joints.
I refuse to
and
believe
she's just
it.
like, pop, swish.
Honey, where's my super suit?
And the kids have been sworn to secrecy because they'll lose their inheritance and fucking whatever it is. They've been guilted into saying nobody can know about this, and that's where it's at.
She has like the first Air Jordans ever made.
Yes.
Secret.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Guess what? I'm not going to help you unless you ask for help. That's it. But that went right out the window.
Yeah, but
I was pointing out high curbs and I was having them hold my own.
Yeah, but they're old, so at this point, it's like they need fucking.
But why are you yelling at me, telling me that I'm making you feel like an invalid?
Did you step on any cracks?
Call up your other siblings and fucking yell at them and say, "Listen, this should be a four-way split.
They all know.
Should be a four-way. Did they get yelled at too?
I mean, I don't think it was like directed at Kurt Schnatz. I think it was directed at the kids.
Got it.
We are making you, but I was the only one there. So you are making
you become the
kids.
Dad?
It was my mom, but my dad woke up when she made that statement of, you're the ones that are making us feel like we can't do anything.
Well, they're old and they can't, and that's what happens.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I wasn't beating them down before.
I'm sure you're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
It's got to be a really hard thing to get to an age where your body is not working. That's
get
why,
it.
once again, we talk about this all the fucking time. Make fucking exercise and eating good and sleeping good and all those kind
You're
of
right.
fucking
They
things.
didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah, and if you you don't do that shit, I mean, there's all these studies about how, like, not even like getting in shape and aesthetically looking good, but like if you commit to really having a routine, like what you're doing is you're buying insurance for the final decade of your life.
You're right. You're 100%.
That like in the final decade of your life, you will be mobile and you're gonna die and you're gonna get cancer, whatever the fuck it is you're gonna get. But you're going to be more mobile, more active, more able to deal with the fucking world in the final decade of your life.
Yeah, you want to be able to do shit with your
I think
grandkids.
that's the best way to sell, the lifestyle of fitness and eating and all that kind of shit.
Videotape my parents?
No.
Make commercials
No,
of my
not
parents?
make. Not
Do you want to
making
end
it,
up like these two?
Not making it about.
Do you want to be sitting on 2 recliner chairs in your living room that's 125 degrees every night because you're so freezing cold? Fine, Jesse, I'll make videos. I'll take the camera home and start
I
making
think
videos.
you got it. You got the whole thing.
Don't do this. Do that. Little bitch.
Stop doing this.
Yeah. Kurt, I got to ask though, did you step on any cracks on your way home?
To break my mama's back?
Yeah.
No, not on purpose.
No cracks?
Not on purpose. Never on purpose.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
It's tough to not be depressed. Let's wake it up here, people.
I don't want to be depressed, but I'm struggling.
I know. I'm trying to get you out of that. I was gonna make fun of your shoes. Those don't seem like winter shoes to me.
Shoes?
Usually you got winter shoes. Those don't seem like winter shoes. Those seem like I quit a little bit today.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't like those.
Yeah,
You don't like slippers?
I mean, not at the workplace.
No, these aren't slippers, man. These are loafs, bro.
Loafs?
Just slip them on.
Loafers.
Loafers,
I'll never
yeah.
wear
That's
a
like the professional, like,
They're kind of like
adult
casual,
term.
and they have the rubber bottom, so they're kind of like, you could
slip resistant.
little fucking sporty, So they're not like super dressed up.
The new sporty loafers.
This is a good question. When you wake up in the morning, how long is it taking you to pick out your clothes? Because you have a style. Do you know the night before?
No, I just buy the stuff, so I have the stuff. So I don't think about like I have a thought process going into what I'm going to purchase.
Okay. But you don't just purchase it and put it right on the next day.
You buy the outfit, put it on every day.
No, but I have a thought process about fashion when I buy the clothes that I buy.
100%.
I don't have.
You have a lot of different clothes, a lot of different. You know, you have a little bit of. You definitely have fashion sense.
Yeah,
100%.
But I don't like think about it like on a daily, like a little bit of a thought process, like what am I going to wear today? You know, a little bit about the weather, a little bit about how you're feeling, and. But I mean, I have X amount of pairs of pants. I got X amount of sweaters or button-down shirts and fucking, I guess what it comes down to is that I probably buy more clothes than one would think, so that you have options to choose from in the moment that you need. And that provides me with the ability to not have to think about it too much.
I'm just thinking about your work day, your work morning. When you wake up, I mean, I know what he does. It's almost the same thing I do. Don't worry about it. I understand what you do.
Don't worry about it.
I know what I do. I got my same jeans. I got a sweatshirt that I'm probably putting on. You got a flannel shirt, a tight T-shirt that you're putting on. What are you doing in the morning? What are you opening up that closet and you're going, I'm wearing the gray sweater with these black pants and these shoes. That's it. I'm out.
Yeah, for the most part. It's pretty quick. I mean, it depends.
You don't lay them out the day before.
No, I mean, sometimes what I'll do is like if I'm training jiu-jitsu in the morning, I'll prepare my bag the night before.
Pack the bag.
I do that so that I wake up and my shit's fucking packed and I get out the door as quick as I can. I do that, but I'm not like laying out outfits and shit. That's no.
I mean, my wife goes sometimes a week. It's a full week. She knows what she's wearing for the week.
It's
a lot of thought. Yeah, I know. But you are right, though.
I know. Don't worry. I mean, it wasn't meaning to be insulting. It wasn't meaning to be insulting. I know who you are. Yeah. I get that.
I wasn't insulted. I was worried.
I used to always call myself a cartoon character. I mainly wear the same colors, almost the same outfits every day.
Sometimes I envy like Steve Jobs. He just like built into his personality. It's just like, this is it. This is what I'm doing.
Black.
This is me. I'm a cartoon character. Everybody's going to remember me like this for the rest of my life.
Well, but that's a guy who's like decided, and I find that so fascinating.
Yeah, but I feel like
that's
people
a guy
have such a concrete perception about him, not just because of who he was, but the fact that like he chose like his like this is my sim character, and this is the outfit that they wear every day.
Yeah, but once again, like context, like I mean, not that I never met Steve Jobs, but just like I read the Elon Musk biography, I also read the Stee-lon Jobs.
Stee-lon Jobs.
Stee-lon Jobs. That's a new character. I said Elon Busk and Stee-lon Jobs. Wow.
Those are the alter egos right there.
Stee-lon Jobs is a character we need to create.
Stee-lon Jobs.
Stee-lon Jobs. All right, so I read the Steve Jobs biography. But it's from the same guy who did the Elon.
Who did Stee-lon as well.
Stee-lon. And he did a lot of candid interviews with Stee-lon. And like, so the whole story behind the outfit thing, like there's a lot of like, you just start to understand like who this guy is and what is.
It was to be simple, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, because it was like, this dude is on the cutting edge of, I mean, if you think about the impact that fucking guy had on our world.
Yeah.
Substantial.
It is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And he knew it, and he put the entirety of his being into it, and he didn't look back. And I mean, I'm sure he had personal struggles, and I'm sure he second-guessed himself and doubted himself, but he won against all of those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He won against those internal struggles. He didn't win against cancer, but he won against those internal struggles, and it's like, I don't give a fuck about what I mean. As long as what I wear, like I like there's a part in the way they talk about it. Like the name of the designer is Issey Miyake. I don't know if you remember who Issey Miyake is, but this was a popular cologne in the 90s.
Okay.
Issey Miyake used to make a popular cologne, but Issey Miyake was a Japanese.
Was it jupe?
A Japanese. Yeah, it was like in that era. It was in the era of jupe. And was a Japanese fashion designer at that time and was high end shit. And so he called up Issey Miyake and was like, I need you to make me like 20,000 of like these black fucking turtlenecks that I like, and like 10,000 of the fucking jeans. And like in his mind, it's like, I look good in this outfit.
Stay with
so it's simple. And other than like if I have to go to a black tie affair and wear a fucking tuxedo or whatever, like this is what I'm gonna wear every fucking day, so that I don't ever have to think about fucking. And like I understand that on a level of when you're obsessed with trying to do something, not saying that that's healthy.
Right.
Right? I'm not defending that or saying that produces
Better results.
That produces better results. And let me tell you something, for the fucking 99% of the people that are obsessive about trying to make something happen, less than 1% of them are ever going to be Steve Jobs. But I understand the concept of like simplifying the amounts of decisions that you have to make so that you can focus that decision-making power on the things that are going to create forward movement. And a guy in that position, he made those decisions. Like, this is what I'm going to do because I'm trying to fucking change the world. I mean, when he hired the former president of Pepsi, like, they had a sit down and like they were going back and forth, and his fucking comment to the guy from Pepsi was like, all right, well, the only question I have for you is this: you want to come with me and change the world, or you want to still sell colored sugar water?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, that's who he was. That's who he was.
Right, straight to the point.
Yeah, and he knew he was on a fucking mission. And there was no like conversation about like, you know, if and or what. Like, the fucking guy was on a mission.
You could always think too that people that are loud the way they dress are very narcissistic anyway. I'm just saying.
Sometimes.
A bold statement. That's a bold statement.
Definitely
and a
Andy
wide range
Warhol.
statement.
I think all that shit is a spectrum. You know
People
what I mean?
who own 22 pairs of sneakers. People who.
But
I think it's
a spectrum. I think it's a spectrum. I think that like some people it's unhealthy, you know, obsession.
Of course.
I think some people, they're the opposite. Like, they put no pride into their appearance, and I think that is just as
just as bad.
I think
as
just as
putting too
bad
much.
as the people who are. And I think there's nothing wrong with putting pride into your appearance and wanting to feel good based on how you express yourself to the world. And I also do think that it's connected to, external validation. I think there's no way to, but it's just all part of like being a human.
Yeah, I feel like there's some people like Steve Jobs where it's like to simplify things and to streamline it and to have it be like a very simple choice, like it makes him who he is and it actualizes what he's trying to do. And for other people that like maybe put more thought into their outfits or anything like that, like for some people, like that's their means of creation, you know. And some people really like to cook, some people really like to draw, some people really like to play music, some people really like to be like, and this is my outfit and this is what will make me feel powerful in a way, you know. So it's like to each their own in a way, you know. So I respect people that this is what they do and this is what they like to do and this is what they're passionate about, because like our passions propel us forward. You know, what we really, really care about in this world, like pushes us forward to be who we are and to bring change to the world.
Yeah, and I think you got to explore what those passions are. You know, how you don't know if you don't try shit.
Yeah.
So order a fucking 1,000 turtlenecks and see what happens.
I had a Steve Jobs' like keynote about like the first iPhone pop up on my YouTube feed. And like I was like scrolling through stuff and I like saw like Steve Jobs keynote and it was like a 2-hour-long video and I was like, fuck it. I was like, I just want, because I was, and I watched the whole fucking thing, and I was like super fascinated just to see him like.
Bro, he was amazing.
Yeah, completely.
He was amazing,
and just like the way he speaks, the way he talks. I mean, even maybe it's also like it's a different time. You know, we're talking about early 2000s, and you know, it's a much different time than the one we live in now. But like, just seeing him talk and like flow through his presentation and like the presentation of his idea and like everything, it was it was so fascinating.
He was a Leonardo da Vinci. That's what he was.
Yeah,
he was one of the highest representations of fucking human. You know what I mean? Like in a certain category. You know what I mean? Like in a certain category. Like, yeah, he had fucking demons and he was a psychopath. Yeah,
so did Leonardo. You know?
And you know what I mean? Like, and he wasn't like, you know, everybody wouldn't want to go. Especially in the beginning part of his life when he was young. I mean, but like they were making tens of millions of dollars like when they were in their early 20s. You know what I mean? And they were like on the cusp of like this crazy technology that like, you know, and just mind blowing. I mean, crazy. Everything that we do in this environment that we're in, like you know, digital fucking editing and all, it's all influenced by like those guys. Those guys created all of that shit. Like different fonts. You know how instrumental Steve Jobs was in like the way fonts are represented in the world digitally? Yeah. Because he was like, no, we're not only gonna have just fucking one.
Yeah,
we need to express ourselves, and you express yourselves differently based on the aesthetic value of like outrageous shit.
Yeah, but he was right. I mean, that, like a lot of people in that time saw computers as this very like egalitarian, simplistic, performing the task, do the computation, get it done sort of way. And he was like one of the few people that was like,
he brought culture, art, and style to it.
Yeah,
in a human way that was not the way that they were. It's just mind-boggling. You don't get a lot of these people on Earth.
No,
I think Elon is another one of them.
I know you love Elon.
He
is.
But he is. I mean,
brilliant.
like there are these like people that are like sort of like the Da Vinci of our time, or like the people that like if they lived in the 1500s, like they'd be doing everything that Leonardo was doing. Like these people, like those types of people that are like, the game changers, the trendsetters, or whatever you want to call it. They're always coming up. And like whatever those types of people like are able to do what they do, and especially when they're able to come up with great ideas, put them into process, execute them, and sometimes built a whole cult around their their turtlenecks.
Yeah,
and
but
their
these
t-shirts.
guys like Elon Musk, like revolutionized like multiple entire industries.
Oh yeah,
like that's insane.
Leonardo built the first flying machine ever that sort of kind of worked.
No, I mean he was another wacko.
Nobody's made it easy enough to pluralize something that ends with S though.
What?
Like Steve Jobs is.
All right. We'll stop it right there.
On Stee-lon. Stop it on
Stee-lon.
Thanks for coming to our show.
Hello and goodbye.
Steve Jobs is his.
Steve Jobs is.
Stee-lon Jusk.